After the murder, Robby Alkhalil fled the country when a number of search warrants were executed by the Vancouver Police Homicide Unit.
The jury heard that Nero, Martino Caputo, and Rabih Alkhalil conspired together to kill Raposo.
Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be turning your attention to British Columbia once again, to talk about a group of brothers who remained key figures in BC's gang conflict for almost 2 decades. They've worked with organized crime groups across Canada and abroad, and violence seemed to follow the 5 gangster siblings everywhere. We're talking about the 5 Alkhalil brothers: Nabil, Khalil, Terry, Mamoud, and Robby. The 5 brothers formed what police called the Alkhalil family crime group. Let's get into it. Their family came to Canada in 1990 as refugees from the Middle East. The family claimed to have left Saudi Arabia to escape the Gulf War. However, authorities believe they are originally from Iran. After settling in Surrey, BC, the Alkhalil family had hoped to take advantage of the better educational resources and quality of life in Canada. However, the 5 brothers soon got mixed up in the life of crime. The brothers were already building connections with gangs like the Independent Soldiers in the late 90s. They were taking control of drug lines in Surrey and feuding with the infamous Durey group around the same time. The eldest brother, Nabil, stabbed a Durey associate in Surrey's Holly Park. He claimed he was trying to defend his younger brothers, but was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon in 2001. The second brother, Khalil, was also involved in criminal activities from the young age of 17 years old. In June of 1999, he was charged with willful obstruction of a peace officer, assaulting a peace officer along with the possession of a dangerous weapon. A year later, he was charged with assault and uttering a threat to cause death or bodily harm. Khalil was involved in yet another dispute just a year later in 2001. However, this time the dispute turned deadly. Khalil had a drug feud with a Durey associate named Michael. The 2 men were involved in a gunfight over a $200 drug debt, and Michael ended up killing Khalil. Michael shot Khalil 9 times, including 6 times in the back of the head. However, Michael's lawyer was able to establish that he was acting in self-defense. The lawyer said in court, "Somebody was going to die that day. It was either going to be my client or Alkhalil." The Alkhalil family disputed that claim, and the defense lawyer was attacked in court by Alkhalil family supporters. Michael was acquitted in 2003 and went into hiding. However, shortly afterwards, his father, Raymond, was shot outside his house but survived. Soon after, a second Alkhalil sibling would wind up dead in what remains one of the most infamous nightclub shootings in BC history. In August 2003, Mamoud was hanging out with the Independent Soldiers gang and a few Hells Angels members at the upscale Loft 6 nightclub when a fight broke out between 2 groups of young men. At least a dozen shots were fired in a crowded club where more than 200 people were present. Independent Soldiers leader, Paul Desange, escaped with an injury, but Mamoud Alkhalil wasn't as fortunate. He managed to escape the club and crash his car more than 20 blocks away. Mamoud fell out of the car, covered in blood, and died from gunshot wounds. No one was charged for the shooting. Despite being only 19 years old at the time of death, police sources say that Mamoud already had a long criminal record and was linked to organized crime. The Loft 6 shooting was also significant because notorious gangster Sandeep Durey was in the nightclub when the violence broke out. The Alkhalil brothers believe that the Durey brothers had something to do with the killings of Mamoud and Khalil. A year after Mamoud's murder, Michael, a Durey associate and Khalil's murderer, was gunned down in Kelowna, but no one was charged with the crime. After losing 2 brothers in British Columbia to gang violence, the Alkhalil family decided to move out of Surrey to have a fresh start. 2 of the brothers, the eldest Nabil and the middle Terry, settled in Ottawa, while the youngest brother, Robby, moved to Montreal. However, it appeared that the brothers brought their criminal lifestyle with them. Nabil was on parole for his assault conviction when the Vancouver police found him in possession of a loaded .45 caliber handgun in his vehicle. Parole documents revealed that Alkhalil told police that his life was in danger and he believed that the Durey brothers had a contract on his head. Soon after completing his assault sentence, Nabil was in the police crosshair yet again. In 2005, during a routine traffic stop, Nabil was asked to open the trunk of his car and led police on a high-speed car chase. The police finally managed to stop Nabil and found 11 kilograms of cocaine in the trunk. He was charged with numerous crimes, and in November 2007, Nabil Alkhalil was convicted of possession for the purpose of trafficking, dangerous driving, and failing to stop for police. Nabil was sentenced to 7 years in prison and also ordered to be deported from Canada. However, no other country would accept a drug dealer and his home country couldn't be established, so he remained in Canada as a stateless person. He was sent to immigration detention and was released in 2010 after his parents posted a bond of $170,000. As the oldest Alkhalil brother battled to stay in Canada and went through the justice system, the youngest brother Robby was forging a criminal history of his own. At just 22 years of age, he was running with notorious BC gangsters like Jonathan Bacon and Hells Angels' Larry Nero, who was associated with the infamous Wolfpack Alliance. Robby and his Wolfpack associates were collaborating in an effort to tighten control on the country's cocaine import and distribution. The Montreal Mafia were starting to lose their grip on Quebec's drug trafficking operations in 2011, and that's when Robby and his associates decided to swoop in and take control of the territory. The Quebec police quickly responded and carried out a large-scale operation in which over 100 individuals were targeted and arrested. Robby was one of the 6 ringleaders targeted in the operation. During the drug bust, the police recovered drugs, cash, illegal weapons, firearms, and vehicles used for the purpose of trafficking. It was later revealed that the organization could distribute up to 75 kilograms of cocaine in a span of a week. According to the police, the drug network had ties with the Mexican drug cartel and used Canadian ports to bring cocaine to Canada. The network's worth was estimated at $50 million after 6 months of drug distribution. Robby was just 24 at the time he was seen as one of the leaders of these massive drug operations. An undercover agent later testified at his trial that Robby was the guy on top. He was one of the leaders. He was doing the smuggling. The youngest Alkhalil brother's criminal activities weren't just limited to drug distribution. He, along with his Wolfpack associates, were plotting a campaign to surgically remove their rivals. He was first charged in the 2012 murder of John Raposo in Toronto's Little Italy. Raposo was the leader of the McCormick Boys, a small West End Portuguese gang that had ties with Italian organized crime. The murder took place in broad daylight at a Sicilian sidewalk cafe in Little Italy during the screening of a soccer match. Robby had hired Canada's coast-to-coast assassin, Dean Wiwchar, for the murder. Wiwchar dressed as a construction worker by wearing an orange construction vest, sunglasses, a long-haired wig, and a dust mask. He approached Raposo and shot him 4 times in the head. 2 other gangsters, Nero and Martino Caputo, were also charged with first-degree murder in Raposo's killing. The 4 men had plotted to murder John Raposo, steal his 200 kilograms of cocaine, and split the profit. Alkhalil introduced Wiwchar as his best hitter. Raposo had a successful drug trafficking operation running, but according to authorities, he had also racked up a string of underworld gambling debts. His execution was also an effort to get rid of a problem for the criminal underworld. Robby was also charged for his role in the alleged revenge murders for the infamous 2011 Kelowna shooting that took the life of the notorious gangster and Wolfpack associate Jonathan Bacon. The Bacon murder was seen as a major event in British Columbia's gang war and gave way to a cycle of violence that involved tit-for-tat shootings of prominent BC gangsters. The Crown alleges that the Bacon shooting prompted Robby, Larry Nero, and Dean Wiwchar to engage in 2 subsequent murder conspiracies. Gangsters Sandeep Dure was having dinner at the Sheraton Wall Centre in February 2012 when he was shot 4 times from point-blank range and killed on the spot. According to the police, independent soldier and Wolfpack member James Ryak and Robby Alkhalil were also present close to the murder scene. The footage from the murder scene shows the killer to be of similar build and height to Dean Wiwchar. Police allege that Wiwchar was paid by Robby to carry out the shooting. Robby is also charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the subsequent killing of another prominent member of the Doc Dure group. Suk Doc was shot and killed along with his bodyguard, Thomas Mantle, in a Burnaby hotel. Robby is charged with conspiracy to commit murder in both Sandeep Dure and Suk Doc's killing. According to police, he masterminded some of these murders thinking that other rival gangsters will be charged for the crimes. Robby was wanted by police in 3 different provinces. However, he had fled to Greece using a fraudulent passport. After Vancouver police executed a search warrant at the Montreal home he was sharing with Hells Angels' Larry Nero. In the meantime, the eldest brother Nabil also fled Canada, despite being released on a $170,000 bond provided by his parents. Border Services notified the family that the bonds were forfeited. Nabil reportedly fled Canada to save his life. His wife told the court that Nabil had caught a private investigator watching their home and feared that rivals planned to kill him as retaliation against Robby. Nabil had also visited the Lebanese embassy to obtain a passport but was unsuccessful. He left home in November 2013 and called his wife 3 days later, saying he was somewhere in the Middle East. Back in Canada, Robby's cocaine trafficking case in Montreal had to be delayed because he first had to be tried in Toronto for the murder of John Raposo. He had an international warrant to his name, and the Greek authorities arrested him at a traffic stop in 2013. Canadian authorities were in contact with the Greeks for Robby's extradition back to Canada so he could face the pending criminal trials in 3 different provinces. Out of court, the law enforcement agencies were also building pressure on the Alkhalil family. In 2014, police launched Project Anarchy against the Alkhalil crime group. The police raided 9 homes in Ottawa and seized more than $12 million worth of cocaine, 10 vehicles, guns, and a $1.5 million home was also seized in the operation. It was one of the biggest drug investigations in Ottawa's history, and according to the police, the raids were a preemptive strike by the city police to avoid another bloodbath surrounding the Alkhalil brothers. The police were aware of the violence seen in the Lower Mainland and wanted to stop a similar pattern in Ottawa. The network dismantled by the Ottawa police was led by the middle Alkhalil brother, Terry, who was identified as a priority by police. Terry was arrested and charged with conspiracy to traffic cocaine and conspiracy to possess the proceeds of crime. The court also placed a restraining order on a $1.5 million mansion that was allegedly bought with drug money. Terry was to move into the mansion in a week. Robby was finally brought back to Canada in February 2015 and faced his Toronto murder trial first. He was sentenced to life in 2017 for setting up Raposo's murder. After Raposo's killing, Robby joked with hitman Wiwchar and told him, "It's time we put you in sniper school." Alkhalil also sent a text to Wiwchar calling him his favorite employee. The judge in Robby's sentencing called his attitude appalling and pointed out that the execution-style murder of Raposo had the potential for enormous harm. In August 2018, Nabil resurfaced in Mexico 5 years after he left Canada on a fake passport. However, this time he wasn't coming back. The eldest of the 5 brothers became the 3rd one of the siblings to be killed violently when he was shot and killed at a luxury car dealership. His death was said to be due to a cocaine deal gone bad. Meanwhile, Robby's second conviction came about in Montreal, where he faced cocaine smuggling and trafficking charges. He was convicted of conspiracy to import cocaine and to traffic cocaine, and received an overall 8-year sentence in August 2020. A 3rd criminal proceeding against Robby continues in Vancouver. The Crown alleges that he paid Wiwchar to carry out the hit on Sandeep Dure and conspired to kill Suk Dok. However, Robby has denied any involvement in both cases. In any case, Robby is set to remain in prison for a very long time. The Alkhalil brothers were long associated with power and influence in the criminal underworld across Canada. Their family reportedly came to Canada for a better life, but the brothers' constant involvement in the gangster lifestyle tore their family apart. The parents buried 2 kids before they turned 20 and lost a 3rd one away from home. The middle brother, Terry, faces the prospect of long-term prison, while the youngest, Robby, is set to stay behind bars for life. The brothers built an empire around them, but in doing so, they lost so much. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to see more in the future. Also leave a comment letting me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching and have a good one.